I had a conversation the other day that I feel like we need to talk more about. My husband asked me about my son's reading level, which my son struggles and has struggled since the beginning. He asked me, is he on level for his grade? And I said, what do you mean by that? I was asking questions to have a conversation. I wasn't trying to be condescending to his question, but I wanted him to have the same thought process that I did when I was dealing with a lot of anxiety and stress in terms of my son's ability to read at his age. And I said, what do you mean by that? He said, well, is he on par with what he's supposed to be for his age? And I asked another question. I said, what do you mean by on par? And he said, like the standards of what is age. And I said, well, where do those standards come from? And he said, I don't know. And I said, the problem is that we as a society have decided that by a certain age, if kids aren't reading or they aren't accomplishing what society has decided is a standard, then we view them as a failure or behind. We've developed in our society this way of thinking that if people don't fit into a mold at the exact time that we think that they should, then they're failures. As a homeschool mom, this was something I had to wrestle with at the beginning of our journey, and really sometimes now, because I get so caught up, and we as a society can get so caught up in our kids and where they are educationally, when we forget that some kids just don't learn the same as other kids. So if you're struggling today with your kid being behind in terms of societal norms, just remember that you're exactly where you need to be. Your kid's exactly where the Lord needs them to be. And we educate them there. We worry about our kids and what they're doing and helping them get the best education possible without having them hate education for the rest of their lives. Education isn't linear, and it's not a one-size-fits-all. And that's why we homeschool. We homeschool so our kids can get an amazing education that fits their needs, so they don't hate learning the rest of their lives, that they actually enjoy learning things, because we're not shoving them into a box and making them do things that they're not developmentally ready for. I hope that as you're going in this school year, that you can relieve yourself a little of stress that your kids have to meet certain milestones at certain times, because they don't. And we just need to let them learn at their own pace.